Listen, you don't want to go into another year without knowing all of the steps you need to take in order to fulfill your dream of becoming a BCBA. I'm sure you've met a few BCBAs, you've researched how to become a BCBA, you know that you're passionate about it, but why haven't you fulfilled all of those steps to becoming a BCBA? We are going to break all of that down in this video. I'm going to tell you step by step all the things you need to do in order to become a BCBA. Now, I did a video like this about 5 years ago, but I realized I have so many more resources. Hi, and welcome back to Dime the BCBA Mom, a YouTube channel. Okay, can I be real for a second? Becoming a BCBA is no walk in the park, okay? Let's just say it's hard, but it's doable and it's worth it. I'm breaking it down so you can crush your goals without wasting time or becoming too overwhelmed. Plus, this isn't just any guide. I've updated it with everything I've learned since the past 5 years when I first did this video, and I just have so much more resources, tools, and tips for you to get the job done. These are things I wish someone had told me. So grab a pen and paper because I'm going to tell you step by step everything you need in order to become a BCBA. Before we get started, please hit that subscribe button. We are so close to 10,000 subscribers, so please subscribe. I'll wait. Thank you. All right, now let's get right into it. The first thing you want to start with is your education. So whether you are pursuing your bachelor's degree or you are pursuing your master's degree, those are 2 degrees that you need in order to start this journey of becoming a BCBA. If you are pursuing your bachelor's degree, you can choose a degree in the field, psychology, sociology, special education, teaching, things like that, and that will help you along your journey to becoming a BCBA, but it's not mandatory. If you want to major in the arts or business or anything that brings you joy, go ahead and do that, because this is where the board is a little more lenient. It gets a little more restrictive as you go along the process. The next part is identifying your master's program. And I created a whole video on how to choose the correct master's program when you are trying to become a BCBA. So you may not know this, but there are 2 pathways that you can choose. The first pathway is just getting a master's in applied behavior analysis. And I even listed schools that you can choose from in order to take that route. The second pathway or the second choice is taking the verified course sequence. So this is for someone like me who already had a master's in psychology before I even knew about ABA. But when I found out about ABA, I didn't want to get a second master's degree. So I just took the verified course sequence, which at the time was an additional 8 courses specifically on the core foundations of applied behavior analysis. And after I finished that, I had met the requirements to take the next step. So whether you're taking pathway 1 and you're getting a full master's, or you're taking pathway 2 and you're completing the verified coursework, that is a mandatory step that you have to take in order to become a BCBA. Now, if we're looking at time frame here, if you're getting a full master's, that can take anywhere between 2 to 3 years. But it really all depends on how many classes you want to take at a time. When I was going through my master's program, I already had a full-time job. I had a full-time caseload. I was a mother at the time. So I was only taking 1 class at a time, and I was getting supervision on top of that. So I don't know what's going on in your life. I don't know what variables are going on for you, but how many classes you take per semester can determine how long you will be in this program or how long it'll take you to become a BCBA. I won't give you any advice on whether you should take 1 class per semester, 2 classes per semester, 3 classes per semester. That all depends on the competing variables that are currently in your life. And then also, you don't want to be overwhelmed while you're in this program. You want to be in a stress-free environment so that you are really comprehending this information and you're not just going through the motions and checking off boxes. Here's a pro tip. Checking the BACB website or watching that video that I just referred you to is the best way to make sure you are choosing the appropriate or correct ABA program. You wouldn't want to enroll in a program and they don't meet the requirements and you just wasted your time. So you want to check with the BACB website or some links that I'm going to provide you with in the description to make sure you are choosing the correct program. The next step is supervision. When I say next step, I don't mean first you have to complete your coursework, then you can start supervision. You can start supervision before you completed all of your coursework. You just have to make sure you are enrolled in a ABA program, and you have to make sure you have completed the first day of that ABA program. If you have completed both of those steps, you can start looking for or gaining your supervision hours. Another pro tip, if I were you, whether you're ready to start supervision or not, you want to start identifying who your supervisor will be. Now, when I attended the Chicago School of Professional Psychology, they had a practicum course. And in that course, they had a list of practicum sites or potential supervisors that you can choose from. And some of them were hiring for RBT roles or behavior technician roles where they would actually pay you and provide you with supervision. If you don't have a list of approved supervisors to choose from, you can get supervision at your job. That's what I did. So I was working at an agency where we provided services to adults with intellectual disability, and I was a case manager at the time. So I got my supervision at that site, but I got it in the behavior department. So I still kept my caseload as a Q, but then I went over to the behavior side and I was writing treatment plans, analyzing data, going to all the behavior management committee meetings, getting my hours that way. So you can get your hours at your current job. You can go to your university and ask for a list of approved supervisors, or you can go to the BACB website and see all the supervisors in your area that are approved and that are providing supervision. So you don't just want to choose anybody. This is not randomly picking from a hat, right? When you choose a supervisor, you want to choose someone who is as invested in your growth as you are. So this is probably the only time in your career that you're going to have this one-on-one mentorship where someone is guiding you and helping you and teaching you not just the material, but how to apply it, the ethical codes, the ethical dilemmas that we may encounter on a daily basis. You want to be very specific when choosing a supervisor. Also, the board encourages you to have multiple supervisors. You need a total of 2,000 supervision hours. So you can do 1,000 supervision hours at this company and the last 1,000 with another company. There is another option. If you wanted to get your supervision done a little quicker, then you can enroll in the concentrated program, which means that you are meeting with your supervisor double the amount of time that you would if you were in the regular program. So the regular supervision program, you're meeting with your supervisor for 5% of the total hours. So if you're doing 100 total hours per month, then you are meeting with your supervisor for 5 hours. If you were in the concentrated program, you would be meeting with your supervisor for 10 hours, but at the end of your supervision period, you only need 1,500 hours instead of the 2,000. So one doesn't require more work than the other. One just requires more direct contact with a BCBA or your supervisor than the other. I'm going to be honest with you, it's not easy to find a supervisor that will commit to the concentrated supervision hours because that's just a lot of time. I don't know a lot of BCBAs who have an extra 10 hours per month to meet with a supervisee. But if you find one and they are aligned with your values, kudos to you. I won't go too much into detail about supervision because I created a whole video and it's called Watch This Video Before You Start Supervision. But I will say while you're in your supervision process, Be sure to document everything. You want to track all of your hours in the moment. Don't wait until the end of the month to track your hours. If you're analyzing data, document that. I spent 1 hour on data analysis. If you're writing a treatment plan, you want to document that. I spent 3 hours writing the antecedent interventions for this treatment plan. If you spent 3 hours preparing for and conducting a caregiver training, you want to document those hours. Once you document your hours, you are going to store those hours for a minimal of 7 years. You also want to make sure you are getting monthly signatures from your supervisor to verify that you are actually completing this work. They should sign off on your hours. They should sign off on your monthly paperwork. They should sign off that they met with you 4 times per month. Okay, so when you get into this supervisor relationship, it should start with a supervisor contract, and that contract should spell out your expectations, the expectations of the supervisor, and what is the topography of this supervision relationship. What is this going to look like? Get in the habit of documenting everything that you do, because we always like to say, if you didn't document it, it's like it didn't happen. And I would hate for you to lose all of those hours and lose all of that time. Remember, this is about getting all the requirements done while maximizing your time. Once you are done with your supervision hours, or while getting your supervision hours, I love how a lot of these steps, you can do them at the same time. Are you noticing that? The next step would be studying for the BACB exam. Okay, so this is a very important step. I don't know a lot of BCBAs who just walk into the Pearson Testing Center without studying and actually pass the exam. Okay, this is a very intense exam, and about only 56% of test takers pass on the first try. So do not sleep on this step. It is very important for you to take the study portion of this process very seriously. Now, that can mean investing in study material. That can mean creating or curating curating a study group. That can mean creating SAFMEDs and timing yourself, or having a contingency manager, someone that holds you accountable, whatever that looks like. And if you need more tips, I created a video how I passed my BCBA exam on the first try that I will link to this video that you can watch after you watch this. But take this portion of your process very seriously and study. Come in contact with this ABA material every day if you can. 3 to 4 hours a day if you can, in order to set yourself up for success. It's like you're learning a new language. You want to make sure you are fluent in that language. That means accuracy and speed. Because when it's time to take the exam, they will be timing you, okay? So it is a 4-hour exam, 175 questions, covering everything that you've learned. My advice is to invest in some solid study material. Invest your time, invest your money, invest your resources into future you. Future you would thank you for that investment. Once you have met all of those requirements, you have completed your coursework, you have completed your 2,000 hours, and you have adequately studied for this exam, you can then apply to take the exam. So you're going to make an account on the BACB website, and then you're going to upload all of the receipts or the permanent product to show that you have met these requirements. Now, that may look like uploading your transcripts from your master's program, uploading your final fieldwork verification form to show that you have accumulated 2,000 hours with the signature of your supervisor, and paying to take the exam. You have to pay a fee in order to take the exam. And then you also have to select a testing date. You get your results immediately after you take your test. Back in the day when I tested, I had to wait like a full month in order to determine if I was going to be a BCBA living this wonderful life, or if I had to go back to the drawing board and take out my study materials again and get back to it. So the fact that you get your information right away, you can start planning for the future. And what does the future look like? That means finding your dream job as a BCBA. So once you pass the exam, it's time to start negotiating. It's time to start looking and researching and saying, what is the best BCBA job for you? If you are currently at a job as a RBT or a line therapist, or while you're a student, you can start talking with the director or the owner of the program and say, hey, I'm scheduled to test for my BCBA exam in a couple of months. If I passed, would you hire me as a BCBA? And if so, what is my starting salary? So you can get that information, and then you can start taking some interviews at some other companies and weighing your options, because guess what? BCBAs are highly in demand right now. So do not sell yourself short. Once you pass this exam, your life is about to change for the better. Okay? One thing that you will notice is your income will drastically change. Now, your first job doesn't have to be your dream job, right? You may want to work with a variety of different populations and demographics and places in the world to see what you like. I've worked with kids. I worked in schools. I worked with adults. I worked in home. I've worked in day programs. I've worked all over, and now I know what I like. Now I know what I want to say no to versus what is aligned with my values. So you may not find that dream job right away. It's okay to explore this world of applied behavior analysis. You may find out that you don't want a caseload at all, and you just want to work with organizations and do more organizational behavior management. The opportunities are endless. And last but not least, what they don't tell you is you have to maintain your ABA credentials by taking 32 continuing education units every 2 years. So that means every 2 years, or throughout your 2-year cycle, you should be going to ABA conferences or online webinars where you are learning and staying competent on the ABA strategies, procedures, principles, guidelines, and then you're also learning about the way the science is growing and expanding. Another video that I would recommend, that I give tons of resources, is 10 things I wish I knew my first year as a BCBA. I dropped so many tips, resources, and all the tea in that video. So you're also going to watch that video after you watch this. All right, well, that's all that I have time for. I hope you really enjoyed this video. And if you got anything from the content, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and share this video with an aspiring BCBA. I will see you on the next one.